over here doing some late night research. You know what I mean? I like to research things pertaining to the Bible and how they tie into the world that we're living in now, especially since we know we're in the tribulation, right? So if we know that everything happens over and over again, these cycles happen where the world is reset, like Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah with a rock falling, three-eye atlas. No, but that's what they're trying to tell you anyway. But I'm trying to do a linkage of how the United States has always claimed that the reason why this nation is blessed is due to its relationship with Israel. You remember presidents saying that this nation is safe because of our relationship, because they played the Christian role, you know what I mean, for so long. So I want to go back. I want to know which presidents said that, who spread that lie, because now we're finding out who the true chosen people are. So we got to now put it to bed, this left and right thing, because they both did it on both sides, right? But I just want to go back and find the research. ChatGPT's thinking. I got it thinking and doing all this research. See, I asked some real critical questions. Probably had to go back and ask his master if it was okay. Okay, here we go. Short answer, yes. There's a long trial of people in U.S. political and religious spaces saying America is blessed because we bless Israel. That's the whole reason why they said that they fund Israel. They've been pumping money in Israel for so long. And then the people of this country were just okay with it, just letting the money go. You know, they would tell you, we're sending money to Israel. We're sending this amount of money, that amount of money. They were just throwing money at them for so many years. All because they would say America is blessed because we bless Israel. Okay, but it's mostly pastors, activists, and some members of Congress, not really presidents themselves. I'll show you specific. We'll see. We'll see what you're saying. All right, here we go. Explicit. America is blessed because we bless Israel claim. These are the closest to what you're asking for. Directly tying U.S. blessing or protection to support of Israel. Because they told us, hey, this is why America is so blessed, because we bless Israel. They had the pastor saying it, convincing these people. That's why you see it on the news every day, every month. We sent Israel this. We gave Israel planes. We gave Israel technology. We gave Israel land. We gave Israel everything, opportunity. And now they own everything. They're at the top of every company. They're the billionaires and run everything. And now they can tell you what foods you can eat and what. Let's keep going. This is just crazy, but I'm just saying, I'm just trying to put together how they convinced, they put a spooky, convincing on the whole world. Let me close this door. I like when this door's closed. Better optics. All right. Pastor John Hagee. When Trump recognized Jerusalem as Israel's capital and moved the embassy, prominent megachurch pastor John Hagee said Trump's actions had brought blessings on America. President Trump has, quote, incurred blessings on America. For scripture says God blesses those who bless Israel. Now that's where it gets, because it says that. It says he'll bless this chosen people. But they made you think it was a place of people that were placed there, that were saved by man. Man put them there. God didn't put them in that land. You know, remember they had to pass treaties and make deals, and then we finding out the backroom deals from mega billionaires at that time. People tied to Epstein's families. Way back then, like. But yeah, they convinced you of these things using the pastors. Christian Zionist group and preachers repeat a similar line at the time, that America's prosperity and protection are tied to blessing Israel. One sermon, for example, openly says America is blessed in part because we continue to support protect and defend the nation of Israel. Our current president, quote, I'm not even going to say the president's name, has taken bold steps to honor our relationship with Israel. But just think, which presidents always line up with Israel? All of them. Both sides. They go over there and they put their hands on that wall. What the hell? They go and put their hands on the wall and put on the hat and pledge their allegiance. Every single one of them. You can just Google it. You can just, President this goes to the wall in Israel. You're going to see a video. It's every single one of them. Both sides, the senators, shoot, these movie stars, all of them go over there. See what Floyd just did? Floyd would have never thunk it. No. They gotta bow down. They have to. But let's keep going. So the America is blessed because we bless Israel formula is very strong in Christian media and church spaces, and those pastors are often on stage at political events, the AIPAC, the CUFI summits, White House faith events, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Members of Congress openly using Genesis 12, verse 3. Here are elected officials tying U.S. political policy towards Israel to the, quote, blessing Israel, be blessed logic. They used bless Israel, will be blessed. And that's why they kept on pumping that money over there to Israel. Remember all those years before, before COVID, that money was pumping to Israel. Every month we sent some money on over there. Nobody was saying nothing. Just, it'd be on the news. We sent America sent Israel everything. Tanks, armor. Let's keep going. All right, Senator Lindsey Graham. I don't know these people. Graham has said this a lot. In 2015 appearance at a Charleston synagogue, he said, from the time I was a little boy until now, I've been told over and over again, Lindsey, God blesses those who bless Israel. Damn. And he said that's what he's been told. Since a little boy. God blesses those who bless Israel. Then later, interviews at trips to Israel. I'm a Christian. I believe God blesses those who bless Israel. This is what he believes. These people believe that if you send that money on over there, dang, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Because they sent all that to, now the people that they see are the people trying to unalive them. That have done everything from changing your food to where you're now eating 3D printed meat. And you're still eating it, you know it. Lab grown everything, pesticides on everything, the air sprayed with chemicals. Your clothes are poisoned. You got to get cotton, baby. They got you wearing this stretchy stuff and it's made of dangerous materials, fools. All right, let's keep going. Senator Ted Cruz. Cruz explicitly uses, quote, bless Israel, be blessed formula. In a widely covered interview debate with Tucker Carlson, he said he grew up being taught those who bless Israel be blessed and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessed side of things. Man. So this is a new reality that's waking up to me as I'm reading this. These people believe this. They believe that they're sending money to someone to a country that cares about them. That's why he say to let them cleave to us. Some of them are just lost. They've been fooled to believe that Israel, wow. Josh Becken, is that his name? Bretchen from Oklahoma. If I got your name wrong, forgive me. America, quote unquote, America is blessed when we stand with Israel. The strength of Israel directly relates to our own nation. But have these people read the word of God? Did they read the word of God? And this is just what they've been taught. They haven't read the word. Because if they read the word, they would know that they would know it's the synagogue of Satan. Wouldn't you know? If you're just reading it, because I'm reading it and I understand that. And now you're seeing it. You're starting to see that these people own everything, run everything, control everything. But see, these people have, I want to give them passes, but they know. By now, just like y'all know. By now. Now y'all starting to see. All right, articles that explicitly say America is blessed. I don't want to see articles. What about presidents specifically? This is the important part. I went looking for presidential quotes that literally say something like the United States is blessed, protected because we stand with Israel, or God blesses America because we bless Israel. Here's what I found. All right, mid 20th century, Truman, Eisenhower, JFK, Johnson, Nixon, presidents from the 1940s and 60s spoke very warmly about Israel, but in strategic, moral terms, not Genesis 12, verse 3 language. John F. Kennedy said, quote, "This nation, from time of President Woodrow Wilson, has established a continued tradition of friendship with Israel because we are committed to all free socialites that seek a path to peace and honor individual rights." What? It sounds like goobity gosh to me. That values democracy, language, not God. America is blessed because of Israel. I did not find 50s, 60s presidents using the bless those who bless framework directly. Ronald Reagan, Bush, Clinton, early 2000s. Reagan and later presidents often close speeches with God bless America, and sometimes God bless Israel or God bless our alliance. But I couldn't find a line where any of them clearly say America's blessed because we bless Israel. Reagan is loved. Okay, none of them, but they all went to the wall though. For example, in a speech with Israel people in 2013, he talking about Barack, unbreakable bonds of friendship with my country, the United States of America. Well, Trump, Pence, they went and opened up the door and pulled his seat out. I'm just saying, they ain't explicitly saying it when they up in the president, but they just talk about it like it's business because it is business. It's all business. You know, we're our alliance, our partnership. We gave them some money. We gave them some tanks. We gave them some this. We gave them some money. They took the money we gave them and they bought some tanks with the money we gave them. Pimping shit out here. These niggas pimp the fucking game out here. You hear me? Trump himself mostly talks about friendship, strength, and God bless Israel, America, this alliance. But the blessing formula was used. They watch what they say. They're making sure that they watch what they say, but they do what they do. They don't explicitly say, hey, we're giving this money to Israel because these are God's people. They just watching what they say. So I was taught this. Somebody taught me this. I don't know. Is it gonna be forgiven? If you've been taught wrong and you just won't listen, and you see by now you gave all this money to these folks and they run everything. They done took over the whole political system. They embedded in every regime that takes over. Now they got it what it's due finna be. King of this place. Whoever want to be king, whoever bold enough to be king. Quite interesting lecture. Went a way I didn't expect. Hearing how they explicitly say, I was taught this. I believe this. You know what I mean? Like they actually may believe this. Give me more of these quotes of these political figures who tie their actions of passing bills and giving so much funding to Israel tied to, blessing Israel, blessing them because they're the chosen people. It doesn't have to be explicit words of what I'm asking. Let's not make it super difficult. I want, things around what I'm saying as well, but where it ties the same type of conclusion that I'm looking for. Yeah, I like that. Gotta tell this thing when I tell it what I'm looking for. Growing up in Sunday school, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things. He asked that for him, standing for Israel is biblical. Doe Lambert, a Lamborn, U.S. Representative, Colorado. I believe that Israel is the promised land and Jews are the chosen people, like the Bible says in Genesis 12, verse 1 through 3. I will bless those who bless you, and in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. He continued, from a strategic standpoint, I would argue that America benefits more from the friendship than Israel does. Yeah, if you're really the chosen people, you definitely are blessed for having the chosen people within your land. If you got the chosen people in your land, you're going to have a blessed land. You're going to be a powerful nation. You're going to be a nation that's undefeated, undefeatable. Is that a word? You have a nation, a strong nation, if you got the chosen people within it. For sure. But see, the thing that they did, they convinced you the people weren't here, they're over there, and we're sending money over there to them. And that's why you're blessed over here. Because we're sending money over there. Not because the people is actually here. Not because the people who are actually blessing the land that I'm blessing because they're in the land are here. They're over there. We're going to send money over there. And they're going to police you from way over there, over here, and tell you what you can eat and tell you what you can do and pass laws over here on you. And now I got you completely encircled. Then let people in right under your nose. Then bought out your whole political system right under your nose. Got you just working. Now you working every day. Right under your nose. That's all you can do. Because you can't lose that house. You got 30-year mortgage. You don't want to do a 50-year, do you? But yeah, that's quite interesting. Lindsey Graham said some things. The only perspective of these people, if they're really convinced of this, I don't know, man. It makes me wonder. At some point now, they've seen. They know what's going on, man, in Israel. What's really going on over there? And now what they've done over here. No, we know, you know what I mean? People have signed their souls over. Been okay with the way that this thing is going and the way it is now and the way it's going to be. What they want next. They've been okay with this. So, but it's very well worded. Very well worded. It's very well worded. The way that they worded their statements. These political people, they make sure to word their statements very well. Because everything's recorded. So they've worded things very. I was taught this as a kid. I learned this as a kid. I grew up believing. But shoot, they've been in this system for long enough to know the real. And they just been sending that money. Man, they was just sending all that money. Y'all remember? Go look at the reports. You can probably get ChatGPT. Let's look it up. ChatGPT, I want you to give me all the major times that America has sent money over to Israel, where they've sent like $50 billion. I just keep remembering times where I used to see where America was sending a lot of money to Israel on the news, definitely pre-COVID, but even since then, you know what I mean? I want you to tell me if you can give me like a chronological list of times that America sent money over to Israel. This is how I'm gonna know if this thing works for Israel now, because if it give me a bullshit answer, well, I can't really calculate that, but I can tell you. Providing a chronological list of U.S. aid. Okay. U.S. aid, they call it aid. What they send over to these folks. They call the money that they send over to Israel aid. They called it aid. All that money they've been sending over to Israel, it's not loans like they gonna pay us back. No, it's labeled as aid. Then they take the same money that they send them. Then we go, well, we need some tanks too. We'll use this money that y'all gave us. And y'all produce and pay for the tank. We send y'all the money to produce the tanks because you got Lockheed Martin and all these other tanks and all this stuff. And then, yeah, we'll take some of those tanks too. So we take the money that you give us and buy some shit over there. So it's just like we just getting free shit over and over. Okay, big picture total. Since 1948, Israel has received 174 billion. That's so small nowadays to people. It's 174 billion to them. In U.S. bilateral assistance and missile defense funds in current. Since 1948, Israel has received about 174 billion in U.S. bilateral assistance and missile defense funds. Adjusted for inflation, that's more than 250,000 or between 300 billion in total U.S. aid. So about 250 billion. So when you remember the U.S. has given Israel over 50 billion, that's already true by 1990. By 1990, they had already given them 50 billion. You know what I mean? They've been just giving it to them. Aid, you know what I mean? And that's why they say they've been blessed over there. Or why we blessed over here, because we send them money. They needed aid. They needed infrastructure. They needed money because they was right by them things. My folks, man. They got them right there over there. So we need to send them some money, man. They got to be protected. We got to protect them. They've been fighting these same folks, beating them down since 1948. We've been aiding them to do it, to protect them, they say. Because they them people is what they been telling them. Key historical milestones pre-COVID, 1949 to 1973. Early aid buildups. U.S. aid started as an economic/humanitarian help, then shifted towards military by the 1960s. So in the 1940s, it was aid. Then by the 1960s, they switched it over to military type of aid. From 1949 to 1973, the U.S. gave Israel about $3.1 billion total, which was considered big by then. Look, $3 billion back then, back in the 40s and 70s and stuff. By that time, they got them to $3 billion. That was some big money back then, they say. Okay, by 1990, first over 50 billion movement. 1990, an analyst noted that U.S. had already provided over $50 billion in economic and military aid to Israel since 1949. More than to any other country at that time. 1992, $10 billion loan guarantees. Bush Sr., Congress authorized $10 billion in U.S. loan guarantees to help Israel absorb immigrants from the former Soviet Union, spreading over by about 5 to 6 years. Don't know nothing about that. Don't care. Just more money. 2011, 2014, Iron Dome and Gaza War supplements. Yeah, they gave him 2.6 billion then during Operation Protective Edge. Great name, guys. Congress passed an emergency appropriation of 225 million to replenish the Iron Dome. And another 225 million can resupply those missiles. You know what I mean? Just keep it coming. Keep the war machine going. 2016, 10 years, 38 billion MOU. Obama gave him a good amount of money, you know what I mean? This is one of the huge headline numbers. New 10-year MOU for 38 billion. I'm sorry, for 38 billion. Fiscal year 2019 to 2028. So they got more money. They still sending them. Hold on. 38 billion in FMF grants. Just give them some cash, man. 5 billion for missile defense system. Just give them. They got 5 billion just to get some missiles. That's what the heck. That's how they was able to flatten that motherfucker. They had it set up 2016. They gave them an extra 5 billion just to get missiles. Crazy. White House called it the largest military aid pledge to any country in the U.S. history at that time. White House, it was gloating on it. Yeah, we gave them the most money, baby. Yeah, we really gave it to them. Yeah. All right. 2021, 1 billion Iron Dome supplemental post Gaza fighting. After the 2021 Gaza war, the White House voted 240-9 to approve $1 billion in additional funding to restock the Iron Dome interceptors. Big packages since COVID. Gaza 2023 to 2024. Biden asked for 14.3 billion to Israel. Just giving them boys all the money. Golly. That's why they was able to buy everything. Ship them the money. They gonna buy everything. They just goddamn did a whole switcheroo on these folks. Right up under their noses. Took their wealth, their money, their tax money, all their business money. They come take your shit and take it to Israel. Let me keep going. Let's keep going. April 2024, 26 billion for Israel inside a $95 billion foreign aid law. So 26 billion of 95, that damn damn near 20-something%. I ain't the best at math, but they made a bill for almost 100 billion and they gave them damn near a quarter of it. Just for them, like, hey, we need a piece. The way they pimping out America is funny. Y'all don't find this shit funny? Them boys wrote up a bill, nigga, foreign aid bill, and gave a quarter of it just to Israel, to one little place of people. Because they them people is what they say. The way they done played these folks, if they would just read their word, they would know that he say his people are hidden somewhere. Hidden. Tucked away. In the nation that's going to be blessed. The nation ain't going to be blessed because they my people. He telling the folks ain't even listening. I need something to drink. It'd be funny though, but I like to see all this money though. House Appropriations described the Israel supplemental loan as 26.38 billion to support Israel and reimburse U.S. operations. September 2024, Israel says it secured 8.7 billion U.S. aid. Hold on, they went from April, got 26 billion. Then September came back, got another 8.7 billion. What y'all spending that money on over there? They got this they flying these planes, putting this smoke up every day. They need money to block the sun every day. Woo, this shit crazy. They getting broke off. My phone finna die. Let me charge this phone up just a little taste, man. I don't want to miss none of this. Yeah, I got it charged up. I ain't got it plugged up. Listen, let me just, when it's over, man, it's just over. It may be just time for me to get off here. Because, man, this stuff amazing. How this lines up with what you remember. Yeah, a whole lot of money. U.S. has given over $50 billion to Israel since 1948. U.S. has signed $30 billion / $38 billion 10-year military aid deal with Israel. Biden requests $14.3 billion. Congress passed $26 billion Israel aid and Gaza humanitarian package. I wonder how much money that money made to Gaza. U.S. has spent $17.9 billion on Israel war in 1 year. U.S. has spent $17.9 billion on Israel's war in 1 year. Just billions of dollars. How much did it say at the beginning? 250 billion. So let me get this right. You said $250 billion has roughly gone to Israel in total? Tell me the real, Chad. Tell me the real. Searching. Okay. One recent calculation says since once you add up all of U.S. aid to Israel since 1948, economic aid and military aid, missile plus defense funding, the total comes to around $318 billion as of 2023. I'm sorry, $318 billion, excuse me. One recent calculation says once you add up all the U.S. aid to Israel since 1948, economic aid and military aid, plus missile defense funding, the total comes to around $318 billion as of 2023. $318 billion. Once you calculate all the aid from 2000, hold on, last time, one calculation says once you add up all U.S. aid to Israel since 1948, economic aid plus military aid plus missile defense funding, the total comes around $318 billion as of 2023. $318 billion. They done just shipped on over to them folks. Since 2023. We ain't talking about what they did in these last few years. And the stuff that you don't know about, the money that you don't know that made it over there in ways, because they own everything. Good night.